Michelle, and I'm back with another video. Finally, I know it's been like forever. I think the last time I was talking to you guys, I was just starting, and it was my first day of school, like the next day or something, and poof, all of a sudden it is now, we're starting week 8 of school. So you may be wondering why I took such a long break, especially only 2 videos in. Well, I have a pretty good reason, and it's not your normal just like, oh, nursing school is crazy, so I didn't have any time or anything like that, even though that is totally freaking true. Nursing school is insane. Actually, I won't go too far into it only because I don't want it to take up the entire time of the video, but basically my school is really, really strict about what things go on social media. And I had heard some horror stories about students that may have gotten reprimanded or just, you know, not good things happening to people who post inappropriate things on social media or like missay something or just like misstep their words. And I did not want to be one of those people. So I decided to take a break and figure out if I could do this. Basically, I wanted to make sure that, I don't know, I do not want to get like kicked out of my nursing program. And I'm not saying that's what they would do, but I'm sure, you know, as we get on these videos and stuff like that, when we're talking about our nursing school experiences, sometimes we like lose that filter, and I don't know if I would like say something that would be considered inappropriate or whatever. So I took a lot of time to just consider if I wanted to continue doing this and risk it, but I finally thought that after much debate that it's, you know, as long as I keep the name of my school, the name of my clinicals, and everything that could be super like specific to my location or my school or whatever out of it, then there's no reason not to. So, without further ado, here's the rest of the video. So, the first thing I want to talk about is my first day of school. Oh my God, guys, I cannot tell you how exciting and overwhelming it was. It was so amazing, and I was so happy to be there, and everybody was so excited, and we were all like, oh my gosh, the moment the instructor would kind of like open her mouth to say something, all of us would, you know, chime in with our stories and our excitement and just how amazing it is to be there. And it was wonderful, but definitely super overwhelming. I don't know if it's like this at every school, but it just, like, you get your schedules for, like, the rest of the semester on the first day. So, like, when the test days are, and what skills you're learning, and what chapters you're going over. And, like, every day we go to fundamentals, there's, like, 5 or 6 chapters every single time. And, like, so many pages of reading, like 50 pages of reading. And I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to read all that many pages. But now that I'm in week 8, in retrospect, it's really not that bad. But oh my God, as a first day nursing student, I was like, I'm going to die in this class. That's it, guys. I'm done. Dead. It's over. I'm going to fail. And that has been something I've definitely said like throughout the 8 weeks of nursing school. Like before every test, it's like, you know, I'm just going to fail. And of course I haven't. But gosh, nursing school definitely makes you feel dumb. I've watched, like I said, some other YouTubers and before getting into this myself, and what they say is definitely true. Nursing school makes you feel like you are stupid. Because, not because of anything that like they do specifically, but there is so much material and so much you have to pack into your brain, you just kind of like, I don't know, brain overload, like just complete brain frizzle out. And it's funny because you like start to just live and breathe a nursing program because you forget like what was for dinner, or where were we gonna go for dinner, or like, did I already tell you the conversation that we're having right now, and am I repeating myself over and over again? Yeah, that happens all the time because your mind just does not have any room for this information. For all of it, anyway. It's so crazy. But, and I have outside classes on top of nursing school, so that was really overwhelming too, because one of them is pathophysiology. which is technically not included in our nursing program. It's a requirement, but it's just like a biology class. So it's not like a nursing class. And I'm taking that, and that's a lot of reading and a lot of like mental work. So that was all just like super overwhelming. Oh my gosh. I feel like I use that word a lot now in my daily life. Just overwhelming. So my fundamentals exams, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about that because that's like a question I hear a lot from people is like, how are the tests? You know, that's the number one thing people want to know about, like, because you have to get this like benchmark level, and ours is 77% on the tests, and some people may be thinking like, how the heck am I gonna get that much, like that score on every test? And I don't know what it's going to be like second or third semester, especially third semester because it's like the hardest semester, but this semester it's really not too bad. Fundamentals is really conceptual as long as you do the reading and you understand what you're reading and you do the practice tests, and that's the key right there. Do the practice tests. You'll be fine. Fundamentals is really kind of like, I don't want to say it's a breeze because it's not a breeze, but compared to pharmacology, which is my other nursing class, it is a lot easier because it's just all really like, I don't know, it's just really all stuff that comes naturally in the nursing mind. If you've been through anatomy and physiology, and you've been through microbiology, and I'm in pathophysiology right now, so not necessarily that, but if you've been through some of these classes and you understand the body, a lot of this stuff comes naturally to the brain. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like a disease process, or some of it is like ethics and laws of nursing, which is not as much conceptual and more kind of like a memorization thing. But it's stuff like, you know, we've all heard of HIPAA and, you know, like delegation processes and what you can and can't delegate, stuff like that. So it's really not too hard. This week we're starting our first simulation lab assignment. So I'm going to see how that one goes. I haven't started it yet, and it's due in 2 days. So that's really nice. And it's not because I'm lazy. I just had a farm test on Friday, and it was, yeah, I spent my entire week studying for that on Friday. And it's now Monday, but I had clinical on Saturday. Or no, I had clinical on Sunday, and I took a break on Saturday because it was much needed. Yeah. I'll let you guys know how that virtual simulation goes after I'm done with it. And then lab. So I also have a lab, and that's where we learn all of our skills for clinical. And we have done pretty much everything now except for 4 skills, I think. And so I don't know what's going to go on in clinicals. I've only done 1 day of clinicals so far, and it's really going to ramp up now that I've started. But as for lab, we have learned how to do everything except straight catheter. Well, we've learned how to do that, but we haven't checked off on it. And we're going to be checked off. We've learned but haven't been checked off on insulin injections and wound care and tracheotomy care. So everything else would be like IM and sub-Q injections, transdermal injections, Foley catheters. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on. We've been checked off on so many things. And lab, I think, ends after like, I want to say 11 or 12 weeks, something like that. Somewhere from 10 to 12 weeks. And that's not when the semester over. Lab ends early. And then you have all of your skills that you can do in clinical except for IV, which is done right before second semester. So before the school even starts, we have lab because we do IV lab, which is going to be really fun. I'm super excited for IV lab because I'm a phlebotomist, so like I just love everything to do with vessels and veins and the circulatory system. So cardiac stuff is really interesting to me too. And we're doing some cardiac, very minimal, but we're doing some cardiac right now in fundamentals with the circulatory system overview. So I'm really excited about that because that chapter is like my stuff. And then pharm. We've only had 2 tests in pharm so far, and one of them was kind of like a general, what is pharmacology, and what are pharmacodynamics, and stuff like that, and that one was pretty easy. I got a really high grade on that one. But the second test, we haven't gotten our results back, and like I said, it was on Friday, and I should get my results back tomorrow, and it was super tough. A lot of people say that pharmacology is just memorization, 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 but it really isn't. I thought going in, just from what I'd heard from other YouTubers and other students and stuff like that, that it was going to be like just knowing. So they were just going to ask, like, what is Lasix? And what is the method of action for Lasix? And what is, you know, stuff like that. But it is not like that at all. It is going to give you, or it has given us, scenarios of a patient that's on this medication, and then you have to like justify why that patient is on that medication. Not in like so many words, because it's multiple choice, but you have to pick, you know, what is the use of this medication in this specific scenario? And you're like, I did not study that way, or at least that's what I was like, because I like did a lot more memorization techniques, and that was not the way to go. So, pro tip for people who are in pharmacology right now, do not just memorize like I did, because you're going to get that test in front of you, and you're going to be like, what is this? That's the look on my face when I got that test. I was like, can you repeat that? But hopefully I did well. I'm sure I did. I didn't feel like super shaky going out of it or anything like that. I felt pretty confident, so I'm hoping that my grade turns out to be pretty good on that. So, I'm sure there's a lot more, but I don't want this video to get too long, and I do have plans for some upcoming videos. So I think next time I'm going to do a study with me session, and I'm going to let you guys know how I study and what my methods are. Now that I'm 8 weeks into class, I have not perfected my study method, because that is like an ongoing process, trust me. But I have really refined the way that I study and what works for me, and I really want to share that with you guys, because maybe that will help somebody else out there who's trying to figure out how the heck to study in nursing school. And then I'm also thinking about doing a clinical experience in clinical bag video. I can't be too specific with clinical experience, but I can definitely give kind of like a general overarching idea, and we can go through my clinical bag. So those are 2 things to look up for in the future, and beyond that, I'll be back with some vlog videos and let you guys know how I'm doing in school. And if I remember anything that I missed today, I'll definitely update you guys later. So it was great being with you guys. I'll see you later in my next video.